Hello, everybody. Goodness me, this is a packed house tonight, isn't it? And Drew's slightly thrown because everything's gone clockwork. So
well, I'm slightly thrown because there's now 5 of us, and then there were 5.
And then there were 5,
which is the missing Genesis album.
I believe that's how they started off, wasn't it? Yeah, that was the reunion album, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Interesting Modelling Company Sunday service. We've got a news light program tonight, but we have a guest heavy show. So, anyway, gents,
sorry,
how are we doing?
How are we doing? I'm okay. Yep. It's my last night of being 54 years old.
Of course, it's your birthday tomorrow night, isn't it?
Well,
55's not so bad.
All day tomorrow. So
it's my old girlfriend Julie's birthday tomorrow as well. You both share the same day, actually. So
I don't know what to do with that information, but thanks for sharing.
That's all right.
Happy birthday, Drew.
Yeah, happy birthday for tomorrow, Drew.
Who cares?
Yeah. Thanks, Mike.
How did we guess that was coming?
Yeah. Michael, how are you? We've lost
Chris. Has dropped out.
Chris has dropped out. Michael, how are you?
I'm doing good. Very good.
Yep.
Thanks for having me. It's always fun to join the banter.
Yeah.
Always welcome, Mike. Always welcome. You know that.
Mike. Always welcome. Ian, how are you doing? How you doing?
Oh, I've been a little bit unwell this week, but I'm feeling strangely better this evening. I was I think watching
must be the company
Liverpool Arsenal game, and then suddenly thought, sod it, I'll go and pester the boys.
Yeah. Yeah, so, honours even this afternoon, wasn't it?
Yeah, something's just collapsed behind my screen. We're just going to have a little look.
All right. We'll see you in a moment. And then this truly is a Genesis album, and then there were 3.
Oh, they're dropping like flies.
Yes. We've got Chris back. No, we've got Ian back again. There we go.
Sorry, the masking tape holder that's propped up behind the screen had just decided to commit harikari. So
must be the good vibrations. Oh, thank you, Shane.
There's a joke there, but I'm going to leave it alone.
Yeah. So, gents, we have, like I say, we've got a bit of a news light schedule this week, but we'll fill in with projects. So, Drew, what you've been working on then?
Well, I kind of got I kind of started designing those F111 wings, didn't I? And
that rabbit hole.
F111. So,
look at the F111. Remarkable.
Yeah, I thought, we're here now. So, I've been doing some little light paint work today on some of the flying surfaces.
That is such a lovely plane.
That looks good.
To get them here. So and lots of smoothing and polishing and stuff to get the best finish I can on them. So it's all been rather fun, actually, I have to say. So we're getting to the point where I'm starting to stick paint on various places, and most of the panel detail that I wanted to rescribe has been rescribed now.
That is genuinely one of Hasekai's better efforts, isn't it?
Oh, it's a beautiful model. I did start working on, some people might have seen, I started working on the long span wings this week. Designing the long span wings packed away. And then I sort of realised that the 2 FB111s I want to do will both require the wings to be forward anyway. Because I want to do with the F111, the inboard pylon, which will be this hole here, with the wings fully swept back, you couldn't really carry anything on that pylon because it's too close to the fuselage. So if you see an aircraft with a store on all 4 pylons, the wings will remain forward because it can't actually carry it on with swept wings. So yeah, and so we're doing other little things like going through the stores and stuff as we go. But yeah, it's really happy with how smoothly that the finish has come out on that.
I've got to admit, is that hand sprayed? Is that your normal?
No, that one's actually masked with blue tack.
Right. Okay.
But that's AK real colours, and then each coat is very, very lightly polished with Trizact. Then it's been given a very, very light coat of black earth varnish, and that's been Trizact back as well to get this really super.
That looks really nice, actually, doesn't it?
Really super smooth.
Absolutely.
Finish for weathering and decals and stuff. So that's what we've been on mainly this week, and then sort of odds and sods with the Academy F15K as well, which I've started painting and polishing back, which has got various assorted things like the because it's a Korean one. I've got the Res Kit Taurus missiles for it, which will pop under the wings like so.
Wow.
So yeah,
Cool.
we're that's been my week. Is mainly doing that, which was kind of like I had other plans, but after the F-35, I just got carried away with the F-111, and here we are. And the Eagle's been there for a couple of months on and off, so that's been my week.
Talking of F-35s, I'm just gonna switch to my camera. Bear with. There we go. I've finally got some paint on mine. A few wrong moves here and there, especially when it comes to doing all that masking for the for the various RAM panels and bits and pieces. But we've got there in the end. This is going to be an Italian one, but yeah, it's oops daisy. It's stuff's just tacked on at the moment. It's just push fit on. But what can you say? It's a Tamiya kit. I mean, it's good fun, isn't it, Drew?
It's a Tamiya kit. Conversation more or less over.
Yeah. Pretty much, yes.
Check box and paint.
Yeah. And it's even having built the Italeri one 4 years ago. I'm slightly reconciled to the F-35 now. I'm actually finding it quite an interesting aeroplane, and I've got to say the F-35C does particularly interest me because of its foldy wingy kind of proclivities. So yeah, that's. I mean, let's put it this way. Andy is going to need more than one F-35C built, so it's not like you and I are going to be, duking it out over who gets to build one. So, yeah, it's been tremendous fun building this, and gonna have to get a wiggle on, get the stickers on this week because Telford is calling, isn't it, Drew?
Right, you've only got there's less than 2 weeks. We'll be on the way home 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, we will. We will be. Oh, bye, Mike. We will be playing the post Telford playlist, won't we? We'll probably be selling England by the pound.
Well, selling England by the pound mainly.
Yeah. But yeah, usually it's a 2-album trip back from Telford. So anyway, and what else? The other thing I have been working on, and this is for the Jadlam Spitfire Challenge. And I dusted off my Airfix Spitfire Mark 12 that I started building about 10 years ago.
I was going to say 12 years ago.
It was, and that's all that camo. I'll stick it on the workbench camera. That's actually I was obviously feeling a bit cocky that day because that's actually all sprayed freehand with Tamiya acrylics. So yeah, these days I'd mask it with blue tack. Yeah, so fun old kit that.
It was a nice kit. I built one when it was released and I enjoyed it. I thought it was a lovely little model.
Yeah.
How close is that to finish, Mr. Mock?
Well, it's going to have to be finished in the next couple of days. So a couple of days, really.
I must admit, mine's been used. I got mine and I was fully engaged and I did all the chat about it and everything. And I used mine then for a couple of demonstration sessions with newer or returning models kind of things. Mm-hmm. That went really well. A couple of them had bought the same kit, did bits of that. And then unfortunately, it's been buried somewhere under two Formula One cars. So I must really pull my finger out, which is, as I'm not going to Telford, it's kind of, yeah.
Yeah, it's disappointing that.
I was a bit annoyed with myself, actually, to be honest, because I had a racing scheme in mind, but other people have done better ones. Some of the pictures that have been turning up on Facebook.
Some of them are beautiful, aren't they?
Absolutely. There's a blue, metallic blue one with a white pinstripe down the side of it. And I was looking like, oh, King's Cup racer.
I think Red Arrows.
Somebody did a Red Arrows one, but it was very, very nicely adapted to the Spitfire's lines, I thought. It wasn't just... They hadn't just taken some Red Arrows markings and stuck them on a red Spitfire. They'd actually adapted the scheme to match the Spitfire, and it looked really, really nice.
Some absolutely corking things. And the thing is, you could have, and I think Jadlam have hit the nail on the head with this idea of, right, it's all well and good saying just build it, and everybody does the same, because there's 2 decal options in the box. Everybody will do the same 2 camouflage options. They've made the point of, we don't just want those 2 decal options. Yes, I know you were involved with that. And they've pulled and people have actually gone out and done exactly what they said.
Yeah.
Some of them are absolutely brilliant. And
because Jadlam have also stepped up and said you can get this kit really cheap, including postage. So it's like it's kind of like encouraging people to step outside the box with building it just for fun.
Mm-hmm.
As one of the people that formed the original What If SIG, along with the late great Mr. McAvoy and various other people who are now mainly late and great, which is really disappointing. That's just like someone's taken on board the lunacy that went before and just gone, go on, lads, have at it. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Makes me smile from minute one.
See if I can find it, actually.
That Red Arrows one was on air.
Yeah, bear with. I should have brought the bear. We got the bear with graphic is actually put to one side here, actually. But scrolls down. Oh, for goodness sake, where has that link gone? Ah, here it is. Found it. It's an absolute beauty. Yeah, all right, Drew. All right, son.
Calm yourself.
Hang about. Come on, StreamYard. Of all the things you have done recently, is make screen sharing a bit easier. There we go. There we
Workman and tools. That's it.
Nice.
That's really cool.
Really cool.
That's really nicely done. I like that.
Yeah,
I've no idea who did that. I think that's, but whoever it is, actually, they used a bit of.
That's what I mean. They've adapted the scheme to fit the Spitfire, haven't they? So it's got like the entire underside looks as if it's been left in white, and it just hangs together really, really nicely.
Yeah,
tiny little round
really cool.
It just looks so plausible, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And we'll give a shout out to the builder. This is on the Airfix Facebook page. Come on, Facebook. Oh, goodness me. There we go. It was built by Tom Hallam. So fabulous stuff, Tom. Funny that we of all the ones that we've seen, that's the one that we've all kind of gravitated to. So
it's the first one I've seen that's made me think, oh, I wish I'd taken part in this now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, it's a Spitfire, so I'm out.
Oh, come on. You know, our club out here always we used to do things that would encourage people to do stuff like that. We had one, you know, we have some guys who actually worked on Reno racers, so we'd have an unlimited racing contest where it was like not just the real unlimited racers, but like pick something and turn it into a racer. I think I did a racing SBD one year, which is kind of ridiculous when it goes 250 miles an hour with clipped wings, right?
Well, as long as it's in the right class.
I guess so. But then we took up the notch and we had racing armor. So I think I had a NASCAR M113. We had some like a Valvoline, like a half track. But the winner of that was Barry Bauer, who took one of those old MI suits of armor, put a bib on it, had it crossing the finish line of a marathon. So it was racing armor.
It's actually pretty funny.
Yeah. But it's great if you have a club. If you're, I would say find some crazy theme contests like that. You can encourage people to do stuff that's not even a what if, like a very flight of fancy kind of thing. Yeah. Give people enough time to build and let it rip, because you get some pretty funny and pretty interesting projects out of it.
Right, let's crack on. Shall we crack on with a news item? Like I say, we're a little bit news short this week, but. This is a forthcoming release from Jason Studio, and these are figures for the Andes Hobby Headquarters. What's scale is it again? 112? 116. M113 armored personnel carrier. So they're doing it as separate figures, but they're also doing it as quite a full set for $119. From what I can tell, that these are 3D sculpted. They're not. They're not scanned or anything. They're actually sculpted, but they're sculpted in CAD. And they're actually am I right, Mike? They're cast in resin. But there are, I think, the helmet for the chap standing up there. I think that helmet is 3D printed. They make
I think this is Jason's stuff, because he does all of Andy's figures.
Yeah.
His stuff is pretty much multimedia. He'll do cast resin as well as 3D printed parts. And having seen his stuff up close and personal, it's pretty remarkable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll just go to the blurb about the individual figures. There we go. So this says, so set includes metal wire and 3D printed CVC helmet. So yes, there are 3D printed parts in this kit, but the figure itself is not 3D printed. They make a very big point there that it is actually resin. But yeah, this just looks absolutely. It looks terrific. And if I go to the if we go to the actual CAD images, come on, StreamYard, wake up. Yes, if we go to this one here, which will show you the CAD images when it wakes up. There we go. They just look absolutely phenomenal, don't they?
I don't believe those are actually CAD images. They took photos of
gray
the actual
prime
kit.
Yep.
I mean, I could be wrong, but I saw all of these at Andy's in this exact position. So it's
wow.
They're amazing.
Because that M113 is not going to be very big in 16th scale either.
No. But now this,
maybe a foot long, 12 inches. Yeah.
But it's
nicely handleable.
Yeah, but it's just a fascinating kind of indicator of just in the last 5 years. I know 3D printing's been around a while, but it just in the last 5 years how it's leapt forward in to the point where we're getting stuff like this. And it's there. They are. That's the individual figures there, but this really is, this really is cutting edge kind of, cutting edge stuff, isn't it? It's, you run out of superlatives, essentially.
Yeah, Jason's a true artist.
Mm-hmm. So, so if we just scroll back, come on. So if we just leap back to the splash page, so there we go. The combined set is $119.99, and the individual figures roll in at just short of $40. So actually, if you do the maths, plural, Michael, plural.
And Christopher.
And Christopher, yeah. It's what's that? 4, 8, 12, 6. Yeah, so
you get a figure
free.
free.
I mean, honestly, I don't see why you wouldn't buy the set.
Yeah, you get one figure for free, basically.
Yeah. I don't see why you wouldn't buy the set, because it's just something that's going to set that model off.
Yep.
Perfectly, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think that looks like value for money for me, because they're going to be big figure, 16th scale. Those figures are what sort of that sort of things. So they're that without wishing to be controversial, that strikes me as good value for 16th scale.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
So
I'm just having a look at some of the comments. Everybody's obsessed with the weather at the moment. That's probably our bad influence on them. Jim says, is the cigarette in the figure's mouth 3D printed? Not entirely sure. You'd have to ask Jason on that one. But Jim also says technology never sleeps, just like the US Air Force.
Because we got so many comfortable places to sleep.
I was going to say, what do you mean the US Air Force never sleeps? What are we buying these hotel rooms for?
Oh, I have never slept in a tent on the dirt. I've had room service. I've had a robe. I've had a bed turned down for me. My life didn't suck in the Air Force.
And I had all my stuff underneath my bed, which lifted up so I could put my stuff in there on the ship. So, a little bit of a difference, but But
if you ever wonder about the how sensible the US Air, or any Air Force for that matter, is, just think of the only branch of any service that only sent its officers off to get killed.
There you go. Yeah.
Right, let's leap on to the next news item, and I can sense.
2 seconds, boys. I'll be right back.
Yep. All right. Bye, Mike. One beer. Goodness me. Right, gents.
Oh
God.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Trumpeter have done are releasing a 48 scale fairy battle.
Looks like the box art was painted with Vallejo.
That box art is doesn't fill me with confidence. Let's put it that way. Trumpeter's track record with British aircraft in the last couple of decades has not been stellar, has it, Drew? I think it's fair to say they've only produced one. I think they've only produced one really good, accurate British aircraft. You know which one that is, don't you?
Well, the Wyvern.
The Wyvern.
And that was because they did none of the research and somebody else funded the tooling.
It was monochrome, wasn't it?
Yeah.
In Japan. Yeah. So
yeah,
we have here
I've already seen some shots of this model, and let's say going from the top, it starts with the canopy cross section being completely fictitious, and goes downhill from there. Really, it's just
Ian Huntley will be turning in his grave.
That drawing is terrifying.
It's disappointing because, and we don't like to kind of slate stuff on this show, and there will be people for whom it will be fairy battle shaped enough that they'll really enjoy it. But Trumpeter can mold kits, and their actual tool making abilities are peerless when you think about it. But it's just their research and development.
And when they've got the information, it all comes together. They're, it's Hobby Boss, but it's the same company.
Mm-hmm.
Their Devastator is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm led to believe, although I don't know myself, having built one, but I'm led to believe pretty much dead accurate as well.
Mm-hmm.
They're a little bit like I think of them as the Asian Italeri, You kind of anticipate you see a new kit coming out. You think, oh, is this going to be a great one, or is this going to be a one we can just sort of ignore forever because they've messed up so badly on so many things.
But one thing you cannot deny is they look amazing when you open the box.
Yeah. Well, that's
Their
what we
packaging,
said, Mike.
everything is wonderful. Sorry, I just got back.
Yeah, no. That's what we were saying earlier, is that they can mold, and they can mold to a supremely high standard. Let's have a look at the color scheme, shall we? So,
Hey, Sutherland, I know you're on here. You're going to make a lot of money off this kit.
The thing is, I'm not sure if Roy is, because I think if it's as bad as people are making out, Roy's just it's not worth the effort even starting.
Is it beyond redemption? That's the question. And I'm pretty certain the answer will come from Roy, if anybody. Because I've just read his summation of their Barracuda.
Yeah, not again. It starts with the canopy and gets worse, doesn't it? I think again, what we have to bear in mind is that these kits are designed for a very specific market. That very specific market being China.
Yeah.
Where somebody's going to buy this on a Friday to build over the weekend, and it is never going to look at a scale drawing.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
it's hobby stuff for them.
Right.
It's got to be said, though, going back 50 years, the infamous incident of when Airfix back in the 60s were tooling up their fairy battle. And Ian Huntley was actually involved in that because he was working at Fairy at the time. And I don't know how many of you know this story, but they asked Fairy for drawings, and somebody from Fairy, not realizing the importance of the drawings, just sent them this kind of like loose set of general arrangement drawings that were not anything to do with the actual final aircraft.
No, it was a set. It was like a set of drawings that would be used for publicity or something. It was not. It was in no way did Airfix ever receive a single engineering drawing for the Fairy battle.
No.
And Ian made almost a career out of writing articles about that.
He did.
The articles that were in Scale Aircraft Modelling over the years of Ian tearing apart the Airfix battle.
Well, the thing is, he was incandescent with rage with the company he worked with Fairy, because nobody had thought to talk to him about it. Nobody had actually thought through the importance of the request that was being asked. And of course, by the time Haldane Place Airfix found out that the kit they tooled up was just hopeless, they had to run with it. But again, as Drew said, the number of people down the years who built the Airfix battle and really were oblivious to the fact that the shapes were all over the place. Anyway, this is the decal sheet for it.
I see Roy's chipped in with his opinion of the Barracuda there.
And by the way, Jonathan, I think this is also well before the era of red lines.
Well,
everything
Roy says the
Trumpeter
Barracuda is horrendous. The entire nose is wrong. The canopy is hopeless. But Roy, what do you know? So Now there is one of the schemes which is provided a bit of controversy. This one, because Trumpeter for some reason think this is an overall black aircraft. I'm assured by some of my Australian friends that that's possibly a misreading based on an aftermarket decal sheet, which has done this aircraft overall black with yellow markings. So I don't know. I would have to have a look into that a bit more, but it's just so disappointing, isn't it? Like I say, they can mold these things, and they can mold them to a supremely high standard. I mean, that's on face value. All that looks absolutely beautiful, doesn't it? But it's just the research.
Yeah, but you know, I don't even sigh at this, John, because I didn't expect anything else. It's like there's absolutely no surprises here, is there?
No.
You know, it's business as usual from Trumpeter. They've done a British aircraft in 48 scale, and it is absolutely hopeless from stem to stern.
And the problem is, it's such a shame because other manufacturers, and I think may now shy away from doing that because they're looking at it.
I.e. the home company for you guys.
But I don't think they would. I think if Airfix have decided they're going to do a battle at any point, they'll just do it. I think Airfix have moved into that realm of their hobby now, where other manufacturers getting involved doesn't really impact their plans one way or the other.
Because that Trumpeter kit earns nothing for Airfix. But the fact that it's in the marketplace already and maybe will have absorbed some of the volume sales.
But I don't think it. But I don't really think it will, Ian, because I still think that Trumpeter are not as mainstream outside of China, if you know what I mean.
Mm.
I still think Airfix, you're far more likely to walk into a small shop in the UK and find half a rack of Airfix kits.
Yeah. Didn't Trumpeter release a 48 scale Vampire?
Shall we not? Can we move on, please?
Yeah.
But who also recently released a 48 scale Vampire?
Yeah.
So it's.
I'm still waiting for Airfix to tool a new 72nd Hamden, but they're just about to reissue the old one again.
Well, we can only hope that that's the last gasp for it, the last hooray, prior to them deciding they are going to do one.
Those canopies are just beyond redemption now.
It looks like a BF 110.
I'm gonna.
Can we just cut him off?
What?
Many would like to actually. Talking of the home team,
the canopy looks like it came from a BF 110.
Oh, sorry, you mean on the battle? It's of that ilk. The shape's completely.
Yeah, it's just a big square topped lump, isn't it? It's just not at all representative of the battle canopy.
Watch it, Ian.
Why is it going to do tricks? Anyway.
Talking of the home team, they've recently announced the return of their Christmas jumpers. And I've got one of these, and they're absolutely brilliant. And nothing fills my heart more with a sense of satisfaction than doing my grocery shopping in Waitrose with an Airfix t-shirt. Now, these come across a variety of sizes. In fact, we are going to see there are the sizes available. They are £28 plus £3.95 postage and packing. But if you go to the Airfix website and spend over £30, your order will come post free. So you could always order yourself a jumper, a Christmas jumper, and I don't know, bottle of mascot or something. But I really can't wait for Christmas so I can start wearing this again, because it makes I smile. Let's put it that way. But I'm not wearing.
We call those ugly sweaters in America.
It's a jumper.
They don't go with the shirt and tie though, Chris. Do they? That's the problem. Right?
Over your shirt and tie, and then you know.
I mean, if they did it, if Airfix did a tie, then we'd get one for it, wouldn't we?
There you go. See, there's a market for them that they haven't explored yet.
They'd sell at least
for
one.
potential right there.
You know what? I'm just gonna disappear. You lot talk amongst yourselves because I'm for some reason that's lodged in my brain that they did a tie. But
Ian, when you said what you said about the idea of the Trumpeter battle poisoning the market, I think that fans of British aircraft are lucky because Airfix is kind of that's their thing, right? And I think Jonathan's right about the idea that they would just push through and say forget it. We know our market. We've got our own country here to serve. But I do know what has happened in the past. We still don't have a halfway decent F4U4 or AU.
Oh, I know. And every time one gets released, it's like this time.
And the first people that did it was like Larry did it really badly, and it was like an $8 kit. So of course the market was flooded with these kits, and the mass market part of it was sucked up by that. Then Revell did theirs, so there's a lot of those out there now, and so we're still waiting for a halfway decent kit of that airplane in 72nd scale because the market's been kind of flooded by.
Even in 48 scale though, Chris, it's the same. They're all, even the Hobby Boss 4 and 4B. They're all right, but they're still easy to pick apart when you've got in terms of F4U1s, you've got the Tamiya kit to compare it to,
right?
And sort of U5s, AU1s and stuff. The Hasegawa kit's beautiful as well. It's got some problems around the nose with the mold mismatch, obviously, which has always been an issue. But as kits, it's a really nice kit. So we've got good long nose Corsairs, good short nose Corsairs, but no sort of intermediate. Big engine fabric wing Corsairs, I suppose you'd call it.
See, I remember building the Hella 48 scale and AUs.
Oh, yeah, it was an F4U7 and AU1 as well.
Yeah,
well, it did the birdcage, right? And then it was reboxed as AMT.
No. The Hella kit was only ever a long nose.
It was a bob kit, wasn't it? It started out as a bob kit.
Oh, that's right. What kit was the AMT? Was that homegrown? That old birdcage that they did?
The AMT Corsair, the birdcage one, was one of their own original 70s tooled kits, like the Meteor and the Stagger Wing and stuff like that. So yeah, they did do their own range of 48 scale aircraft in the 70s, but we didn't get. I was going to say we didn't get a decent birdcage up until kind of hobby craft in the mid 1990s, and those
1996, 97,
95, 96, and they have their glitches, but actually
that's a really solid kit. That's a really solid kit. The worst thing you can say about that kit, as far as I'm concerned, is that then along came Tamiya. That was, as a series of kits, I built the birdcage when it was first released, and I thought it was a really, really solid kit. It was easy to build. There were one or two little foibles. You had to work a little bit to get the flaps put in the right position if they were deployed and stuff. But it was a really, really solid kit. But then, sort of less than 2 years later, along came Tamiya, and basically the game was over.
I've got memories that I built that for scale models in the mid 90s.
Did you not build a Fleet Air on one?
I seem to remember you doing that.
No, the Fleet Air Arm. No, I didn't build a Fleet Air Arm.
I did Marine's Dream, the birdcage.
The Fleet Air Arm. The only Fleet Air Arm stuff I ever built for scale models was actually the Accurate Miniatures Avenger. I did it in that white scheme with the black nose, the anti-submarine. I think it's the anti-submarine scheme. I'm always tempted to go because I know my scale models are literally just around the corner there. So I'm just tempted to say, talk amongst yourselves while I go and grab that particular issue. Because it's lodged in my brain now that I'm like, yeah, it was kind of like, was that about August 1996? So yeah, go on. Chat amongst yourselves. I'll be back in a second.
I literally just finished the Tamiya 48 scale F4U1D.
Yeah, you did, didn't you? Yeah, I was going to say you built it last month.
You can see it right back there.
Yeah,
there it is.
Hobbycraft, going back to what Hobbycraft and their 48 scale kits, they went through a period of doing a lot of 48 scale. They did Hawk, Kurtish Hawks, they did 109, really early 109s, which
didn't they do P40s as well?
Yeah, I think they did.
And they did S199s Hispanos.
Yeah.
And they were all really solid kits as well for their time. They're a little bit, you look at one now and you think, oh, it's quite simple, but all the, all the makings of a really decent kit are there.
Didn't they do the Avro Arrow in 48?
Oh, they've done the Avro Arrow about
CF100
8 times, haven't they?
Yeah.
CF105, I don't know.
Typically fixated on that.
They're slowly getting towards maybe doing an accurate one eventually.
Yeah, they did a 48 scale cutlass too, which is just
that's right,
deranged, but
yeah,
cool.
I've never actually seen that in the flesh. Is it actually reasonably accurate? Just based
well, it's I think
sure.
I think from the air intakes backwards, it's okay. But I know there are serious issues with the nose and canopy on it. Somebody that did Fisher models do a complete replacement nose for it.
They did a whole kit.
They did a 32nd scale kit. But in 48 scale, I think they also somebody did a complete new nose for the.
It sounds like Mr. Fisher's kind of territory.
Hobbycraft cutlass.
It does, yeah.
I love that. I love the cutlass. I still love the cutlass. I keep hoping that Sword are going to do an F7U1. I think that would be right up there.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
That would be very cool.
Chris and Mike, our mutual friend Ms. Peeler built an FU1. I'm trying to remember what she based it on.
She wasn't using it for
Anagrad or something like that.
Was it a 140, 1144? Oh, the one model. That's and I think Anagram does do an F40 or F7U1.
You're right.
It's the kind of thing that Jody would make, and it'd be absolutely be scared.
Oh yeah, it kind of surprises me that Sword haven't done an F7U1.
Yeah,
as yet. It would seem to be
blue. Yes,
Blue Angels markings.
Sorry? Found it. October 1996.
You did Marine's Dream as well.
Sorry, say again.
You did Marine's Dream as well.
Yes, I did actually.
Right.
But goodness me, I haven't looked at this article in quite a long time. I've just got to see what pages are we on here? Page 32. Goodness me. Oh goodness me! Yes, there we go. Bent wing bird. But I think what you were thinking of in terms of Fleet Air Arm ones, Drew, was the 2 pages of artwork that I did. Back in the day when vectored artwork was still quite an experimental thing, really. It was a good kit. I enjoyed that. Yeah, goodness me. Oh, I'll tell you, I can get on a rabbit hole there. Just I'm starting to read that. But no, the hobbycraft kits. I seem to remember around that time. That's when they also did their P26, which
that was the other one. Yeah.
They also did a P35.
Yeah, we got that one,
which I thought was serviceable. And they also did a vampire.
Well, again, vampire.
Vampire.
It was more like the vampire. His coffin got opened during the daytime, and the sun came in.
Oh. It just. I mean, I want to say their vampire sucked, but it truly did. It was just. Oh goodness me!
I think that's important news from Rory there as well.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I think that's important news from Roy.
Have a great trip, Roy. Sell all your crap.
I'm just scrolling down. Rory or Roy?
Roy. Last message.
Roy. He says, if I may insert a shameless plug, I just got back late last night from a three-day emergency passport renewal trip to Vancouver. The good news is I was successful, and Barracuda Studios will be at Telford on the 9th and 10th. Look forward to seeing you lot. Yay! Roy,
and also the other thing is as well, Robin Powell's going to be there again this year. He's coming back this year, so we're getting a band back together, aren't we?
Well, actually, we will. We've only got about another 10 minutes left to go, unfortunately, but we will have a bit of Telford talk because. Obviously, Drew, I'm looking forward to the fact that you will be coming up traditionally on the Thursday.
Yep.
and we'll be having our curry and arguing about what film we're going to watch on Thursday night. Then rock to Telford on the Friday. But the good news is, Mr. Farmer has booked the hobby company Entourage into a hotel in Newport, which is 3/4 of a mile away from Spencer's house.
Oh, God.
And I'm staying at
Liz
Spencer's anyway.
is already shuddering.
Yeah, and
I'm staying at Spencer's anyway for that weekend.
There we go. So fingers crossed that has shenanigans written all over it. That has fun written all over it. So
I've got one film name to say to you, John, for the Thursday night.
Go on.
You ready?
Go on.
Silent Running.
Oh, that's a good shout. That's not one word. That's two. But yeah, Silent Running.
I said I got one film name to say to you. I didn't say one word.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It
Silent
could be
Running,
one
I reckon.
word if you decide to make it one word. You just leave the space out.
Yeah. Yeah. Just go running.
Silent Running. Silent Running.
Yeah.
How does that sound?
That sounds absolutely perfect.
Because there's no way on the planet you haven't got that.
I haven't got it. I haven't got it, but I can acquire it. And it's on stream. It's going to be streaming somewhere.
I've got a DVD of it around here somewhere. I'll have a look for it. But
right, okay, it'll be on Paramount or something. But
hey, Ian.
Yes, mate.
Can we see those cars?
Yeah, you can. If John will let me.
Yeah,
sure, John, just do it.
Finish them. This is
Huzzah.
This is the California Cowl Drag combo from AMT.
That's awesome.
So we've got kit comes with a stock fluffy at 64 Galaxy, which is at I've had to do some digging around this week. This is actually a Pro Modeler release from the 90s by the look of it. I found the original boxing for it. So having realized they'd messed up when they destructively tooled the 64 back to a modified stocker, they reissued this one, which you can tell it's an annual because Michael recognized this, and Chris probably. There's all sorts of stuff written on it. Wide contoured safety frame, protects all passengers, that kind of stuff. So it really does date. So I custom roll panned it, front and rear, Frenched it in.
Oh, it's awesome.
And it's got the most lovely pearl bluey. You just pick the blue tints up on the interior look.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's got that mother of pearl, which we've drooled over before.
Oh my goodness me.
This is the somewhat dubious 64 Falcon. Funny car, calm gasser, calm, whatever they're calling it this week. Replacement tires from an AMT parts pack, hence the lovely pad printing on them. The decals in these kits are fantastic. I think we've covered that before. My friend Billy Campbell did me the 3D printed intake trumpets with 3D printed tennis balls, complete with the little wavy line, which of course I then had to dutifully paint, which you can see in the photographs on the page. Chrome work on this is all sprayed Molotow.
Wow.
And on the Galaxy as well. Everything's Gunze. So Gunze GX. Apart from that mother of pearl, which is SMS, I use that down the side as well. You can pick up the shimmer. There you go. Yeah. Oh, bumper's gone twinchy. But that's that. There is no means. The chassis that's in this is like a generic chassis that they put in a few of these modified cars. There is no physical connection between the chassis and the bodywork. So on the top of the glass piece, which here's one I prepared earlier, looks like this. I've got double-sided tape, and that's what's holding the chassis into the body. And it's the only physical means of doing it. The trailer, classic AMT old double axle trailer. My mother of pearl the tops of the, and it fits quite nicely on there. But the problem is that sent me down a rabbit hole, as these things often do, when someone told me that this kit has in it, this is the original 64 3-in-1 kit, butchered. There's no better way of putting it, by putting great big wheel arches in it and these big fat
dirt racer.
Yeah, and they took all, and I thought they'd taken all the customizing bits out of it. Wrong. They're all still in the box. So if I can get hold of another one of those stock 64 reissues, I might do it. This is the stocker body. You can see what I mean about those wheel arches.
Ian, send me a picture of that box. I bet I can get one for you.
I just want the. I don't only want the. They did the trailer car, the tow car, in a box on its own. But I mean, that drag combo is about an $80 kit now, and I don't want the trailer and the other bit. I just want the stock car. So
Right.
I'll see. Yeah, I'll see what I can find out. But it's been out for a little while now. They're getting a little bit difficult to get hold of on their own.
Just let me know.
Will do, Mike. Thank you.
It might be a little bit easier to get over here.
Well, yeah, I got that from Tammy's Hobbies in Portland, Oregon, which is a nice little shop, incidentally. Not as good as the meals in Seattle, but that's
Skyway. Can't beat that.
the meal stuff. You just walk in and that's me done. It's like, here's 500.
My wallet.
Have a wander around.
Yeah, it's Roy got stuck in Seattle for a day because they messed up his flights, and there's I can think of no better place to get stuck in than Seattle, because you've got Emil's, you got Skyways right there, and you've got the Seattle Museum of Flight, which is a
museum,
peerless museum. And oh boo-hoo, Roy, I feel so bad for you. Stuck.
Oh, wasn't the Seattle Museum of Flight the old Champlin Museum out here in Phoenix?
They acquired the World War I and World War II stuff. They built an entire new wing for that stuff. Yeah. And it's just a fantastic museum. Now it used to be like one day, one afternoon, you're in and out. Now it's like, you can spend a couple days in there and see things.
Nice.
Astonishing.
I was there in June, and I spent a good 3/4 of a day there. The thing with Emil's is, if you're staying anywhere near SeaTac, near the airport, you are literally 10 minutes from Emil's.
Mm-hmm.
Turn left at the.
So it'd be rude not to.
Yeah, it's like turn left at the Safeway and go up that road and along a little bit and go past Taco Time. No, always go to Taco Time. But if you have to, go past Taco Time, turn left, and there you are at the meals. And you will be welcomed like you're his long-lost brother, because the guy is just so good, so genuine, and the shop is amazing. And no, he hasn't paid me yet.
Just exactly the opposite, right? Yeah.
And I spent a lot of time there with Mark Hoffman, the late great Mark Hoffman.
Oh,
I met up with a friend of ours, Chuck. Surname I still can't pronounce. The cartoonist who does
Chuck W.
Chuck W. Yeah.
Voskovich.
Yeah. He told me at length over a Taco Time exactly how to pronounce it, and to this day I still can't get it right, and I apologize, Chuck. I really do, because he's probably going to watch this, because he does. And he had with him a Roden Mohawk that he's been working on and off
forever.
Forever. He's back modeling again now, because he's had all his
eye surgeries and stuff.
And his eye surgery, and that's lovely. That really is beautiful work. It's fantastic.
The interesting thing is, Chuck was on my Facebook friends list for several years before I went, oh, that Chuck from Aircraft Resource Centre, from the Messerschmitt 110 and 410 and all that sorts. Oh, that Chuck.
And Hyperscale. He used to post the cartoon ladies in the Lance. Big
21. I think I may have known Chuck through my friend Mick Gray, who's a cartoonist. And he builds models too. Well, that's weird. He knows all the same people I know already,
He met us at Emil's, and then we went for lunch, and he was like, he'd never been to Emil's. He lives on Whitby. It's like 40-minute drive away, and it was like, I've never been. Have you not? What is wrong with you? Now apparently he's a reasonable regular. So
didn't the old Hyperscale, everybody's friend and just wonderful guy, Dana Gareth's used to put cartoons in his photos too. You remember Dana? Everybody remembers Dana.
I remember. Do you know what? It's so long ago. I remember the name,
Because he was
but I don't
such
really.
an
He was.
Yeah, apparently, according to Roy, it's pronounced Vlakovic.
Okay, that sounds about right. I'm still not going to get it right. I know I'm not. So he's still just Chuck. But he's a friend.
Chuck.
Should just call him Chuck W.
Chuck W. But such a nice guy.
Chuck Wagon. Call him Chuck Wagon.
So and then I made the foolish mistake of driving all the way down to California to see Chris.
Yeah, that was waste of time.
Normally is.
Nice scenery.
Yeah.
NorCal is beautiful. NorCal is beautiful.
Roy is John muted.
I don't think John even realized he's John.
Oh, he was cussing up a storm in his mind.
was. God, the air was so blue here. It was incroyable. It was yeah, sorry about that, chaps.
Peeling off the walls behind you, John, from your line.
Coming back to the Northern California bit, the bottom end of Oregon on I-5 down towards Northern California is absolutely beautiful coming over the mountain.
It's beautiful, that whole area.
In July, it was hot, but it was beautiful at the same time. I got out of the car and sort of went, whoa, and then just got in the car and turned the aircon back on. It was just so hot.
The whole West Coast is great. I mean, living here is a treat, but driving up that way is great because, but it's torture for my wife because there's also McMinnville, there's the Evergreen Air Museum, there's the Museum of Flight, there's Everett. So it's always a negotiation. Which one will we actually go and stop and look at for as much time as she can bear? But we're spoiled here. We're really lucky weather-wise. But the theme of the show, right? Weather-wise, look at the comments. But Ian drove down in June, which is the California turns all yellow and kind of boring, frankly.
Oh, it's only 101 degrees Fahrenheit here today, and we're almost to Halloween.
Oh, is that one of those strange measurements that no one else on the planet uses? A bit like
whatever. It's 30-something Celsius.
Okay,
that's my guess.
I'm just putting a fan on in this room. There you go. Now my fan's on. Just in sympathy at those words. 101 degrees Fahrenheit. No.
Can I throw in a conversation real quick?
Go on.
Do you guys mind? So I have been experimenting with a new quick shine.
Yeah.
This is huge. This is going to last about 40,000 years.
You can tell that's been bought from an American store, can't you?
No, it's bought from Amazon, and I didn't realize how large it was.
All right.
But a couple of friends of mine have brought up that they've experimented with this floor finish as another way of using Future / dipping and I only use Future for dipping canopies. I've never trusted it as a clear coat, just personal preference. But I did dip my little Fallen Nat 48 scale. God, I hate doing this. Canopy in it today, and you can see. I showed John and Drew about an hour, and Spencer as well about an hour ago. This is dry,
shiny,
and perfectly clear. The one thing that's weird, I know it's hard to see in this, but it's actually kind of
milky. It's like those. It's like all those acrylic varnishes, isn't it?
It's very milky, but right now it seems very durable. I mean, I can do anything I want with this canopy. Now I'll have fingerprints that I'll have to polish out eventually, but it's not sticky. It does a beautiful job. The next test will be masking and see how that works.
What's the name of the brand, Mike? What's the name of the brand?
It is
Quick Shine. Right. So there's a logo. I'm just googling it. Quick Shine multi. There we go. Quick Shine multi-surface floor finish. Yeah, I can get it. Yeah, I can get it from Amazon in this country. Oh yeah. pricey, but yeah, I've bookmarked that. So excellent.
Just something to try. We're always experimenting, right? So I'm sure it would work great on clear parts for cars. So again, I've not sprayed it. I might try that at some point, but we'll see.
It's very much like a gauzy product.
Yes, yeah.
The way, the color and the way it shifted in the bottle remind me of that. So I've seen a few people get good results with that.
But I was impressed. I put way too much of it in my little thing because it's been a while since I dipped a canopy. I'm like, where the heck is it? I'm in there with tweezers
trying to find
a canopy. And then finally Smart Mike said, well, why don't you just pour some back into the bottle? And there it is.
And then he promptly poured some back into the bottle, and the canopy went back in the bottle as well.
No, luckily it didn't. I was afraid the windscreen would go. But yeah, it seems to be pretty durable and pretty nice. And, it'll be pretty cool sitting on this little, speaking of red arrows that we had a conversation about earlier. Hey, John, there's some post office red.
Such a great little aeroplane.
I love the Nat. I still haven't got around to building one of them, but it's on my million kits long to-do list. So
that 48 scale Airfix Nat is the only 48 scale aircraft I've seen.
It's a fun little kit, but it is a little fiddly with fit. I've discovered the intake trunk fits a little proud, so I had to sand it. Which, stupid me, also sanded the top of the intake, so now you see the filler.
Oh yeah,
I got a flat spot, so I had to blend that back in. But wonderful little kit. I use the Red Fox cockpit placards, which really, really, really adds a lot to it. But yeah, it's so funny because I set it next to my my 48 scale Javelin. I'm like, how the heck is this the same scale?
Yep.
And you got to bear in mind the T2 is the T1 is the big Nat.
Right.
It was quite a lot bigger than the fighter variants.
Yeah.
In all dimensions.
Yep.
Which I have photos of. One of them, I think it was Indian Air Force. They have one down at Pima, and I'm like, I could lay across this thing and like touch nose to tail.
Yeah. It's absolutely
like a king size bed.
The one at Pima is a Jeet, actually. It's actually an Indian license built one.
That's the one. Drew, we've built the special hobby ones, haven't we?
Yes.
Because but they are fabulous little kits, aren't they?
Delightful little
models. Yeah.
Really I will say, in my case, I'm very lucky I had a second kit because the upper wing that is one piece on this kit was so warped it looked like a 787 Dreamliner in flight. I mean, it was just and luckily I had another kit that I robbed. So yeah, fun little model.
I hate to do this to you, but any other business?
No, I guess our next meeting here will be on the cusp.
Our next one will be actually. Well, I'll tell you about that at the end of the show because right, okay, I'll tell you about that now because this is the end of the show. So next week's show is a little bit different, and it's a little bit of a preview for Scale Model World because we're going to be having as a special guest Mark Sanderson, who's IPMS UK Publicity Officer, to talk about Scale Model World, which will be less than a week later. So if you chaps want to join in on that discussion, you are more than welcome to. So
well, yeah, I mean, I'll be here anyway. So
there you go then. Talking of Scale Model World, oh my goodness me! The Hobby Company Limited Modelling Demos 2024. They are pleased to announce they will be running a full weekend of modelling demonstrations at their stand in Hall 1, hosted by Jonathan Mock and Drew Manton from the Interesting Modelling Company webcast, and respected modelling author Spencer Pollard, among the items lined up, builds of latest releases, tricks and techniques, Q&A, and there are the three handsome chaps there.
Oh my goodness!
I saw those three photos down there at the bottom. I saw them. I said, "Man, Cheap Trick is looking pretty rough these days."
Oi, oi, oi! No need for it, is there, Chris?
Are you guys going to play the flame? Please play the flame.
I was going to say Rush have let themselves go, but then I was going to say I think the Goodies have let themselves go. Look, there's Graham Garden, Bill Oddie in the middle, and Tim Brooke Taylor on the end there. There we go. But yeah, so next week's show will be a little different. And then what we're hoping to also do is, in between watching Silent Running in 10 days' time, is we'll try and do a live from here with moi and Drew. So we'll see what we can do.
Real quick before we close out, if you don't mind, Jonathan.
Yep.
Dave Fleming, I know you said Tamiya Italian Red spray is close to Post Office Red. Hataka has Post Office Red. I've never sprayed it before until recently, and I love it. It's kind of like that same formula as you get with Gunzi and Tamiya, but I did buy the Hataka thinner just in case.
It takes a tiny little bit longer to dry than most lacquers, but it's very, very nice.
Yeah, it sprays beautifully. It's the first time I've used it. So Post Office, Jonathan was all over me about not using Signal Red, and I finally found it in the Post Office Red. So that's what we're doing with the NAT.
It's good stuff, actually.
And super fast service from Japan. My goodness, I ordered it on like a Monday. I got it on a Friday.
Wow.
Oh, we've got happy birthdays coming in here, Drew.
Yes,
Craig,
thank you all for your birthday wishes.
That's right.
I still think the best one was your brother that just said, "It's his birthday."
Well,
Although
I'll get some birthday cake in for next week, so we'll have a late birthday bash as well. So there we go. Sorry, week after next. So no, it will be next week. It will be next week.
It will be next week now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey Jim, Altica, I bought it directly from Hataka.
Yep, there we go.
Great service, amazing service.
Yep.
Well, Hataka's in Poland, Mike.
Hataka's Polish, not Japanese.
Oh, I guess it was Poland. I thought it was.
No.
On that,
came from Japan in 5 days. I was like, what?
Americans geographically challenged? No.
Oh, come on.
On that note,
Hataka does not sound Japanese.
A quick reminder that the Jadlam Spitfire group build is due to end on the 1st of November, which means I've got to get a wiggle on to get mine finished. But it's been, as Drew said, it has been a fabulously supported group build. So hopefully,
Jadlam played a blinder with that one, didn't they?
Try and get Russ on the show, hopefully, to talk about that as well. So
yeah.
Until the next time, it just remains to say thank you, everybody, for tuning in tonight and giving us an hour of your life.
Which you'll never get back.
Which you'll never get back.
Nor will we.
Keep a lookout, because we'll try and squeeze some pop-up lives, especially when it comes to finishing that off. And like I say, fingers crossed, we'll see you next Sunday for our special with guest Mark Sanderson of IPMS UK. So until the next time, as always, thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay out of trouble, and we'll see you all very, very soon. So bye for now.